Teagan, I've got your math module project here. Let's take a look at your program. Okay, here's the template. Has all the calculations, print description of the word problem for the user. Ask them to enter in this information. Use 3.14 for pi. Put the results. Let's see. Ask the user to find the volume surface area of a square house. So we have a house that's going to be perfectly cube shaped, I suppose. And come up with a name for the house. So you add a little something. That's cool. Ask for the name of the house, the length of the sides. So I assume you're doing a cube then. So we're going to calculate the side cubed and 6 times the side squared. Do the equations, print the information. So let's copy your program here. Look at your questions while you're complete the assignment. It could help people quickly figure out the volume surface area of a cube. All right. Having trouble with equations. Figure out an easier way to enter them. Oh, let's see what it looks like there. Had issues forgetting certain things to make it work. Maybe it shows a different stuff. Okay, let's take a look. Putting this in a Python window. All right, let's see. You've been assigned to design a luxury house. 2 requirements must be square. You have to decide what the state would be called. You must find the measurements of the house, both volume, surface area, and choose the name. All right, so when we run it, it says, what's the estate called? Well, we'll say it's Brock Manor. Oh, if I can type here. Brock Manor. And what's the length of one side of the house? Oh, that's interesting. If it's a cube and I say the house is 50 feet long, that means it's going to be 50 feet tall as well. That's going to be like a 5-story house or something. But let me do it. I'm just going to use a number that's easy to calculate. So 10, because 10, the volume of that would be 10 times 10 times 10. That'd be easy to calculate. And 6 times the side squared. So I'm just using a number that's easy to calculate. Let's see. Let's say it's called Brock Manor. The surface area is 600 because, that would be side squared, which would be 10 times 10 is 100 times 6. And the volume would be 10 times 10 times 10, so 1,000. So your calculations work well. Let's take a look. You said you're having trouble with them. I see you took a shortcut. You had them enter the length, which would be the side length. And instead of squaring it, you just said, I'm going to square it this way. I'm going to take it by itself. Does that mean you were having trouble with this? Times power length 2, right? Because you can take the length and square it using the power function. But I can tell you that creates an error right now because when I run it, Brock Manor 10. Oh, it didn't get an error. Why did it not get an error? Because you did not from math import asterisk. Remember, you gotta do that at the beginning when you're going to use these math functions. But that still worked with the power because the power is supposed to be one of those math functions. So I'm really surprised it didn't give an error because you didn't have the math import. And volume should be power length. If we look back in our lesson on how to use the power function, length times 3. Yeah, 600 and 1,000. You found a way for it to work. Just do length times length times length. But, the purpose of the math module is to learn how to use the math functions, which you can easily do with this type of thing right here. With the power, you put whatever number you want to raise to a power first, which is this number. And then you put what power you want to raise it to. Power length 2, power length 3. So this squares it, this cubes it. But otherwise, it looks good. And I'm wondering, did you try to print these on the same line? Did you ever try that? I just wonder if you tried that and ran into an error, and that's why you moved them to 2. Because if we do them on the same line, which you can do, surface area, that probably gave you an error right off. I'm just going to enter something and put 10 again. Error, because remember, this is a string of letters. This is a number, and Python says, I don't know how to print a string of letters with a number. And that's when we go back and say, okay, I know that this is a number, but treat it like it's a string of letters. Just act like it is and print it all together. And then it'll say, oh, okay, the surface area is 600. See, it puts it on the same line just because I told it to treat it like it's a string of letters. I'll put an extra space there just to put a space before that. So I'm thinking maybe that's why you had that on 2 different lines rather than making it all together like that. So, All right, I'll get this feedback to you. Overall, good program, though. Just give me some tips to help you in the future. So, see you in class.